How you doing, everyone? Welcome to the Buttery Show. We want to give a huge shout out to the Growing Up in the '90s Facebook page.
Yes.
I am your host, Michael Brogdon, and here with me is my co-host, Jacqueline Amira. How's it going today?
Pretty good. I tell you what, fresh out the box, stop, look, and watch. We are going back to Coolsville tonight.
Because today we will be talking about Warner Brothers' most most talked about animated film of all time. The
Underappreciated.
Yes, it is very
Very underappreciated.
The Iron Giant. Oh my gosh. I mean, this movie this movie came
Yes.
out this movie came out in 1999
Mm-hmm.
and it stars Jennifer Aniston, Harry Connick Jr.,
Vin Diesel's the robot, the lucky bum.
Vin Diesel. Like, come on, Vin
Yep.
Diesel, James Gamick, Cloris Leachman, John Mahoney,
Mm-hmm.
Eli Mannerthal. I'm sorry if I pronounced that name wrong.
It
uh,
happens.
Christopher McDonald and M. Emmett Walsh. Oh my gosh! And it was directed by Brad Bird.
Who
Now,
is of Simpsons fame. He's well known for that.
surprisingly, and this movie was actually set in the late 1950s.
In the Cold War era. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I know it was a rough time in the 1950s during the Cold War, but honestly, and you at the beginning of the movie, you see something from outer space, just crashes in. I don't know where. I think it's like
Excuse me.
it's okay. I think it's like Maine or something like that.
Yeah, I got major ET vibes from this movie from the second it started.
Same here. I'm like, okay. And then we see Hogarth, who's 9 years. Well, I think it was like the following day. We see
Yeah.
Hogarth. He's about 8 or 9, give or take.
Mm-hmm. He's old enough to lie to mom about having Twinkies for dinner. Hey, I was that kid too.
Hey,
Except
listen,
it was
listen.
marshmallows and Pop Tarts.
Like, give me my Twinkies. Give me my Twinkies. But you see Hogarth going to his mom's job at the local diner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Dead set on having a pet.
Yes, a pet squirrel, I think it was.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
then and there you see another character come in named Dean, who is actually played by Harry Connick Jr.
He's a
And
cutie pie. I'm sorry, go on. I
oh my gosh,
had to throw that in. I'm sorry.
oh my gosh. Honestly, honestly, that night, as any typical kid would, they they go into the woods. Why? I have no idea. I have no idea why he would go in the woods. Maybe his little you know his little curious mind just wanted to be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm gonna do this. So yeah, I'm gonna do this. See how it is. I'm like, do you
I'm gonna
not?
slice some lemon and go in the woods. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, do you not realize that if you see something in the woods, you don't go towards it?
Mm-hmm. Run, fool.
Like really, and then all of a sudden he sees a 50. I think it's like, I don't know, like a 50-foot robot.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
Like, honestly, if you saw a 50-foot robot, what would you do?
Try to reprogram it to take over the world. That's just me.
No, I'm not gonna ask that question again. I'm
Ask
not.
an honest question, you get an honest answer. I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna ask that question again. I'm not. I'm not gonna ask that question again. Oh dear lord, I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't. And like he starts, and he like like any sane person would do if you saw a 50-foot robot. Hogarth
Hmm.
ran. Hogarth ran. I'll be the same way.
Yep.
But eventually, Hogarth and the giant become friends. But the giant, being hungry and he only eats metal,
Yep.
he tried eating the railroad tracks.
Dude was hungry. I mean, snack attack. What are you gonna do?
I mean, I understand that, but you don't go. No, you don't do that. No,
I
not with
think the
the
giant had the mental capacity of a toddler at first in the
yeah,
movie,
yeah, and then like I guess the train ran into him, but Hogarth discovers that the robot can repair itself.
and that he can talk. He starts speaking bits and pieces throughout the movie, and at
Hmm.
the end, I am not a gun.
Yeah, and then but the main villain, Mansley, I hate him. I hate him with the passion.
Evil government man. Oh yeah, that's ET vibes right there too. I mean,
Hmm.
except this guy was a little too hyper, over hyper,
A little.
little too eager to launch a missile, capture the giant, and he got all up in that kid's face. So you do that to a kid nowadays, pop,
That's a
that
case.
kid goes like that.
That's a case.
That's the case right there.
But they have to find some place to hide the giant. So
Hmm.
they bring it to a junkyard, which evidently enough is owned by Dean.
Yep. And Dean makes a very big mistake and gives a child a cup of espresso, even though he says he's hip. Yeah, no, no. That kid went off the
Now
walls in
now
like
you
30
see.
seconds.
Now you see. If it was my kid, no coffee,
No,
no, no, like
no, none of that.
no coffee, no espresso. But but
The robot actually ends up helping him with his art. I mean, geez.
yeah. But his mother, Anne, I guess she's not the breadwinner because Hogarth's father was in the military and during the Korean War and like died.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, Mansley interrogates Hogarth.
Mansley had the perfect opportunity to do it by renting a room in the house.
Exactly, just to keep eyes on him.
And there were some parts in that around that part in the movie that were like a little too grown upish, like kid going to the bathroom.
Like seriously,
I
honestly,
don't think Disney would have done that.
honestly,
No.
honestly, I don't. I would have been like, okay, can a brother get a little privacy, please? Like, can a brother get some privacy?
Yeah.
But I and then you know Hogarth and the giant are spending time with each other, but the giant witnesses hunters killing a deer,
Oh God. Yeah.
and now the giant compelled with the concept of death.
That reminds me of Short Circuit, Johnny Five, when he finally learns that disassemble equals dead and he freaks out.
Hmm.
That's another classic. I'm going to do my best to cover that in another show, I promise. But like, robot becomes sentient, and they
Yeah,
understand the concept of life and death. It's mind changing. It's a plot twist.
yeah, but it honestly, it's kind of sad. It's
Yeah, it
kind of
is.
it's kind of sad because now you got to explain something to this really to this baby like 50-foot robot.
He was very lovable, like a toddler.
Yeah, but now, but everything. But a lot happens in the movie, and then Hogarth actually plays with a toy gun, which apparently activates
Yeah, his original programming.
his weapon system. I'm like,
Mhm.
this
I
went
was like, yikes.
like the giant. I'm like, this went dark really
Real fast.
really
Hmm.
quick, and it's just like the giant was sad about that.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't know what to do. He's a big baby.
It makes you think like Hogarth is the robot's first interaction with the human race. I'm pretty sure
Exactly.
like he didn't interact with his creators or his origin source, basically.
Exactly. But anyways, you know, the giant manages to win the townspeople over.
Yeah.
But the military comes.
Oh my god.
But activating the giant's flight system, they try to evade, but the giant shot down. Hogarth is knocked unconscious. But like my thing is now that not that hits me because simple fact is the giant thought that Hogarth was dead.
And Mansley used that to finally launch the missile.
No, and then before that he
Hmm.
went full on he went full on beast mode. He wasn't taking no for an answer.
Oh yeah. I think you saw the veins pop out of his neck almost. Even though it's a
Exactly.
cartoon.
Exactly. But he transforms into into like
Hmm.
a freaking war machine. But then Hogarth wakes up and to he runs to the town just in time to calm the giant down.
Hmm.
And while that happens, the general, like Dean, is trying to clarify the situation with the general to make sure to that way he's
You don't want to launch a missile for no good reason that could wipe out a whole town. I mean that would just be reckless.
exactly. But
Hmm.
but anyways, like just as the general, just as the general is telling them to stand down, Mansley stupid.
We're trying really hard to behave and not cuss on this show. If anyone's going to learn how to cuss, you're going to learn the way I did from my own parents.
Yeah, Mansley's stupidness takes takes the radio
Hmm.
and he's like, launch the freaking. I'm like, why would you want the? Mm-mm.
You can tell he's obsessed with the idea of robots throughout the
Yeah,
whole movie and the possibility of taking out one, saying that he did it.
exactly, exactly. But like the missile is
Oh
a
my
the
god.
missile is a nuke.
Hmm.
Like
And
it'll just like it will destroy the town and everything around it.
Mansley, of course, runs away like the big old chicken that he is. First chance he
Hmm.
gets. And the town understands mortality. This is it. There's no running from it.
Like we're gonna die. Like
Hmm.
like all this time, like we're gonna die.
And oh
Honestly,
my god.
what got me was when the giant flew up.
Mm-hmm.
collided with the missile. And when he was remembering what Hogarth said, "You are who
About
you choose to."
Superman.
Oh my gosh,
I love
that
that they threw that in there.
that scene right there,
Mm-hmm.
I was when I tell you I cried.
Aw, you guys hear that? He cried.
Even as a kid watching this, I cried.
This came out in '99, so just a precursor. I was obsessed with the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC at that time.
Yeah,
I watched this later on.
99. I was in elementary school.
Yeah, I was 16 when this movie came out.
I was in elementary school. I was just like, I'm just like, but like honestly, and then months later they have like a memorial statue for him.
Mm-hmm. He's their hero. That's what you
Hmm.
do.
Like Dean and Ann, they start to go out. Aw. Hmm.
Oh, you knew that was going to happen. I mean,
Yeah, throughout the movie, you
Hogarth, he got those two
know,
together.
like honestly, my thing is I like the fact that Hogarth was teaching was teaching the giant how to speak and the concept of life and
Mm-hmm.
death
And
and
he
basic
used comic books.
and basically just showing him like, listen, you choose who you are,
Yes, that is the theme
not
of the movie.
not anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that right there, that I I I don't I cried. I literally cried because it's like just like just like with just like with anything else. It's like you are who you choose to be.
I thought you were going to say anything else that you cried on. I was this close to thinking that's what it was going to be.
Honestly, I cried when they were about to die. When they thought they were gonna
Aww.
die, I cried.
Mm.
Like honestly, I also teared up a little bit when Hogarth was explaining to the giant about a soul.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how do you have that conversation with a robot?
Yeah, that it's never really gone.
Mm-hmm.
And like that right there, that right there,
Mm-hmm.
that was very, very monumental to me. What about you?
That touched me a lot. I mean, what really got me in this movie, and thank you, Brad Bird, for this. I'm sure the Simpsons are to thank for this also. He has a clean line style of directing. The storyline in this film was so good. You forgot that you're watching moving pictures. You want to know what's going to happen to the characters. You want to know what's going to happen next. That style is actually popular in Japan with My Neighbor Totoro. That's clearly seen in that film as well. Uh, it just amazes me that an animated film came out in this time period. No musical numbers, no animal sidekicks, no princesses, the typical stuff that came out in animated films in the 90s. This
Hmm.
completely went against the norm for all of that.
And I'll honestly just to bounce off what you're saying, I agree with you because it's like a lot of people nowadays just are just like, we're gonna be this way, we're gonna be that way. No, you choose you choose you are who you choose to be,
Exactly.
and it's just like you're invested in this,
Yes.
like
You
really
care
really.
about them as if they were real life people. And it's sad in a way that this movie came out in 1999. This easily could have been a live action $100+ million budget film in this current era. The fact that it's animated and it was
Exactly.
done in earlier time allows more creative freedom for projects such as this or Pat in the Sun. Excuse me.
Oh
I had to get
gosh.
that. When you have certain film types, you have more creative freedom versus going off of a comic book, going off of a certain script, a book, a storyline. If you're doing things live action, there's certain constraints you have to restrict yourself to. That doesn't quite apply with animation.
True. 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 You are absolutely right.
It just amazes me. Like, we were able to do this. Let's see, this is 2022, so 23 years ago. And what animated films can you mention, like, now, in this year, in this decade, that stand out? Can you think of any?
No, honestly, I can't because this right here, the, the Iron Giant was really, really good. And,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, I wish this movie came out before. I wish this movie came out in
In
around
present
this
day.
time. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because it would have been honestly 1999. Given how everything was, it did good.
It did.
But me personally, it's just like honestly, I think honestly, me personally, I think Vin Diesel.
That lucky bum. He gets all the good parts.
Oh my gosh,
He gets this, he gets Groot. I mean, come on.
he gets Dominic Toretto.
I'm talking the animation CGI here. Let's leave Fast and the Furious out of
Yeah, I
this.
know. It's just like honestly, he plays baby Groot, teenage
Mm-hmm.
Groot, and adult Groot. I'm like, is there nothing he can't do?
We'll have to find out, I guess.
But honestly, this whole movie from start to finish was really, really good.
There
It,
wasn't a single moment where you were lost trying to figure out what's going on or where you got bored
mm-hmm,
and thought, how much longer do I want to watch this? You know?
exactly. And honestly, I feel like this right here.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me a second. I feel like this movie, this movie was really, really good. And
It's a shame
honestly,
that the critics blasted it upon its release because a lot of them did. It
hmm
was
I
very
mean,
underappreciated.
yeah, honestly, it won a lot of awards.
Mm-hmm.
It like literally it won best animated best animated feature film.
As it should.
Mhm. It won outstanding it won a whole bunch and it won best feature film, best animated film, again best animated film. Oh my gosh.
And
Honestly,
it deserved every bit of it.
I wish that they would have, I wish they would have gave this movie a sequel.
Or a re-release. My goodness, they're doing that with a lot of movies right now, aren't they? Where they
Exactly.
re-release it, reformat it, add some extra content, deleted stuff. I'm sure there's just as good scenes that were cut from this movie for time that we haven't
Exactly.
gotten the privilege to see.
Exactly. Like I honestly the funniest scene to me was when the general was, like the general was like just yelling at Mansley. That scene was funny.
What got me, there was two that were equally funny. When the detached hand's running around the house like a newborn puppy, and Hogarth's trying to get it under control. I'm sorry, that's funny. And the
I
fact that they got a 1950s duck and cover black and white educational cartoon snipped into there, it shows you how kids were being educated for the circumstances of the era that they were living in. They were living through a period of history.
They were. They
And the
honestly.
animation kind of reminded me of Ren and Stimpy just a little bit. I'm not sure if that was intentional for the black and white film, but yeah, I got like the log commercials or the other little side snippets that they used to do in between the shorts on that.
Honestly, I think like I know this was one of the I think one of I believe this was one of Warner Brothers attempts at an animated movie because the quest for Camelot was a complete failure.
Oof. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and honestly, I think personally that they could have done like a short on how the giant was made.
Absolutely. I would love to find out more about that.
And honestly, like I said, they could have done like a prequel or something else.
Especially since at the end of the movie, the robot parts are activated to rejoin, and you see
Exactly.
that the head is activated, the eyes light up. They left a perfect segue for a sequel in that movie.
They did. They did. They did. And honestly, me personally, uh excuse me. Ow. Like honestly, I like that concept. Is like you take everything, you take something that's so young,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you how do I put this? You teach it right or wrong, and it's like you don't, and it's just like, and then excuse me, and it's like you try to teach them. It's like raising a child.
That's pretty much what Hogarth was trying to do. The only
Exactly.
thing he didn't do is feed him Reese's Pieces.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's just honestly, I honestly I liked this movie. I really did.
I mean, if you haven't seen it, please watch it. It is available on HBO Max. It is available for rent on other streaming platforms as well. It's not a big expense in this day and age. I know the prices of things are going up, but this is an hour and a half approximately well spent to watch this
Mhm.
movie.
They did. Honestly, I did honestly Hogarth,
Mm-hmm.
I liked Hogarth. I liked Hogarth. I did.
He was
I
very relatable, just like the robot was.
yeah, as we said again, the robot was excellent. The robot was like a little baby, a 50-foot tall baby.
That tall baby, big baby.
Little baby. Um, and, given the circumstances that they were in, the Hogarth's mom Annie really 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 gave really how do I put this, really stepped up because like during I know during that time there was how do I put this, families going off to the Cold War, and I guess Hogarth's father was one of them, and you
There
don't
was a
really,
draft in that decade, correct?
huh,
There was a military draft,
for the
so you
Cold
had to
War
go.
and for the I believe for the Cold War and the Vietnam War.
Yeah, my dad fought in that.
Yeah, same. My dad fought in Vietnam,
Yeah, so did mine.
but
For
honestly,
the Cold War wasn't an actual war.
honestly, I think that me personally, if I had a chance to rewrite this, I
Hmm.
really wouldn't.
You wouldn't change a thing, would you?
No, I really wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
Like everything was well written. See, honestly,
I,
another thing that got me when he kept
mhm.
saying, when he was saying, "I am not a
A
gun."
gun.
I'm like, oh my gosh. I literally started crying.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
honestly
applauded. I
I'm
was
just
like,
like
Jay, you go, robot. You tell him.
exactly. It's like like go robot.
You tell him.
And that, but it's like my thing is, why would you attack like an innocent creature? Like,
One
come
of
on.
life's many mysteries, folks.
But anyways, but honestly, I give this film a 10 out of 10.
I agree. I wouldn't change a thing about it. Don't fluff it up, water it down, preserve it as fillers. It's fine the way it is.
Exactly. And honestly, me personally, I think Dean, I think Dean was really good as like a love interest for the mother.
It was a completely opposite end of the spectrum. You had a way too hyper government agent over here, obsessed with the idea of a robot being on Earth. And then you
Mhm.
had a chill artiste who runs a junkyard that both come into Hogarth's life almost simultaneously. I'm sure there's a bit of a time lapse there, but
Yeah,
and thank goodness that the missile didn't hit, that the robot decided to be like Superman and save
exactly.
everybody.
Exactly. It's like, and then honestly, the funniest scene to me was when he was like, "You can fly! Oh my gosh, you can fly!"
Superman could fly. Why can't he? I mean, come on. You showed him the comic book.
Exactly. Honest, honestly, that I found that scene very very cute.
Oh, it
Um,
was adorable.
also like like everyone in the town was ready to accept him. It was it was Mansley that was he was basically being a xenophobe.
He's being a butthead, folks. Let's call it like it is. He's being a total butthead
Yeah,
that was way too obsessed with the idea of I get to be the one that takes out a giant robot. Give me the praise, give me the glory. It's me that did it.
exactly. Exactly. The general, honestly, I have to give the general credit because the general was like, let me try to do this. Let me do this, but let me get all the information. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, I do.
But honestly, he was very paranoid. But he was a xenophobic U.S. government agent.
Absolutely. He was
He was
willing to step on anybody, break any rules, lie, cheat, steal, whatever it took to be the one that took out the robot.
exactly. And now, and now I kid you not, the robot. And when the robot saw Hogarth, knocked out, he thought he died.
Mm-hmm.
The robot went ham, cheese, and bacon.
Did you cry on that part too?
Honestly, I'm just like, oh no, oh no.
I wanted to know. I'm sorry. He already said he cried at the end of the movie.
I did. I did cry at the end of the movie. I did. But let's go to the comments.
What we get.
This was from Jake Gonzalez. This was a great film. I
Hi,
love
Jay.
it. Hi, Jake. I love the main theme of this film is choices.
Us
Yes,
too. Absolutely.
yes. Like the choice is yours on who you want to be.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to be what they tell you to be. You could be anything you want.
Exactly. Hogarth and the Iron Giant had a relationship like John Connor and the T-800 from Terminator.
Yes. Yes, I agree 100%. Only difference is this robot didn't say, "I'll be back."
I'm done. And Quest for Camelot was up against too much competition, like Pokemon, Mulan, Prince of Egypt, etc. I mean, if you really look at it, this movie came out in 1999. Pokemon, the first movie, came out, I think, in 2000. Oh, wait,
It did,
no,
yeah.
no, I'm
Wait.
lying. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, it did come out.
Yeah,
It
it
did
did.
come out the same year and everything else.
And Pokemon was huge in that period of time too.
Yeah, but
It
other than
still
that,
is. Let me clarify. See Pikachu back there? Yeah, still is. There he is.
but anyways, but honestly, like I said, I give this movie a 10 out of 10.
I agree. Don't change a thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. A re-release Warner Brothers wouldn't be such a bad idea with extra content. I'm just gonna put that out in the universe. If they want to do it, great.
Come on, Warner Brothers, at least give us that. At least give us that, Warner Brothers. Come on,
Please.
please.
If you don't do it, he's gonna cry. Quick,
Oh,
whip up
thanks.
crocodile deals. Whip up crocodile tears. Do it.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
I'm sorry. You can get me back on the next show.
But anyways, thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate it. And Jacqueline, where can they find you at?
You can catch me on Instagram, Jacqueline Amira, all lowercase, all together. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening. I know it's a little late. It's almost my bedtime. I am a bodybuilder, but we love you. We appreciate you. And if you haven't seen this yet, HBO Max, please see it. You will not be sorry. I promise.
And you can catch me on Instagram at Red Ranger 2134 and hanging out with everyone from Morphin Network. Oh, we got another comment.
Oh.
Open the vault, please. Open the vault.
Open the vault. Yes, open the vault. Open the vault. Do it.
Yes, please. And honestly, like I said, I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change
Not
anything about this.
one. Nope.
I wouldn't.
It's extra stuff. That's technically a change, but it's a good one. We want that. We want the extra stuff.
Yeah, just give us the extra stuff. That's all we ask. Just give us the extra. just give it to us.
Do it.
But honestly, this right here was my childhood. This movie was my childhood. And
this was my teenage years. I can't exactly say the same, but yeah.
And honestly, I would definitely recommend this movie to anybody.
Absolutely. If you haven't seen it, please do. You won't be sorry.
Again, this has been the Buttery Show. We shall see you guys next Tuesday
Yes.
at 8, where we will be reviewing Blazing Saddles.
Yes, this is one of my favorite movies ever. I am so excited. Mel Brooks is a god in the film industry, a genius, a pioneer. I don't care if it's satire. His films are good enough to stand out on their own.
All right. Well, everyone, this has been the Buttery Show. We shall catch you guys later. Have a good day, everyone.
Take care of yourselves and each other. We love you. That was fun.
Hold on.
Where's the sploosh?